Dog fans, can we just relax, take it easy? 48-7 was a great win. I know we struggled a little bit, but we're going to be okay. Guys, we'll be okay. Mike Bobo will make adjustments. Trust in Kirby Smart. On today's show, we got Alex Crittenden from Fifth Quarter on X. We're going to review the UT Martin versus Georgia game, also preview the upcoming Georgia versus Ball State game, and give big predictions on Alabama versus Texas. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. That'll really help us out. How are we doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well. Um, we'll jump right into it. Wanted to get your thoughts and on the Georgia UT Martin game. Georgia wins 48-7. I just wanted to first off just say, hey, all the Georgia fans, just got to calm down, take a breath. I know it wasn't great in the first half, but we got the new offensive coordinator Mike Bobo. We knew maybe take a little bit of a step back, or there'd be a little trials and tribulations coming in. But I think we'll be going to be okay. But just want everybody take a chill pill. I'll admit I was a little disappointed in the first half, but if you just had stepped back and had, if you're a non-Georgia fan and just logged in and looked, hey, 48-7 over five, was it 559 yards total offense?
hmm
Like, hey, what are you guys complaining about? But I know the bar is set so high at Georgia, but I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah. So my biggest thoughts were I just thought the execution on some of those plays just wasn't there. I don't think it was a problem with the calls. I think there was one bad call. In the red zone, 20 seconds to go. We run right up the middle with no timeouts left. That was bad. Even Kirby in the press conference said that was that was not the best call for that situation. But I mean, the offensive line struggled a little bit, for being honest. I that's what Brooks Austin was talking about, in the run game and whatnot. And, they kind of UT Martin loaded the box and wanted to stop the run. And I don't think it was Mike Bobo's fault by any means. I think it was just execution, but I think everyone's going to get better. This team is loaded. So I don't have any issues with what happened during that game.
Yeah, completely agree. And Carson Beck started out a little slow. He even admitted after the game being very nervous, which, he's waited his turn. So you got to give it to the kid. But I think this is a good, just, I hate to say dress rehearsal, just get his feet wet. 21
Mm-hmm.
294 touchdown. Had a great run down there, did a little juke move. So it showed that he had some wheels. So I thought, second half looked a lot better and they turned it on. Kendall Milton, which I was surprised actually played because you had that whole hamstring issue. So 9 carries, 53 yards. I think he had a good 37-yard run. Roger Robinson looked like a bowling ball. Like he looked pretty good. Had some runs. Andrew Paul 4 for 18. Thought you would have saw him a little more. Cash Jones, looked pretty good on the receptions. I don't know if he'll be an every down back, but good change of pace. Um, and then I thought the backup quarterback should look really good. Gunnar Stockton had a good run, even though I think it was a holding call. Had a great ball to Rara Thomas.
Yep.
Uh, Great throw. And then Gunnar Stockton, I thought, looked pretty well. And then the wideouts, Brock Bowers, he's a machine. 5 receptions, 78 yards. The Makai Hughes, great. I think he's star in the making. He looked really, really good.
Oh
CJ
yeah, I did.
looked really good. He has some wheels. Ra Thomas got a catch. Dominic Levitt, I thought we'd see him a little more. I think he dropped a touchdown pass, but all in all, got some guys, some receivers in there, 559 yards. And the defense, as advertised. Another one I wanted to ask, did you think that was a catch at the end? Because I just could not see that being a touchdown catch for UT Martin.
I honestly, I mean, I would have probably just gone with the call on the field. Yeah, I just thought it was maybe a little too hard to probably tell at the end. Like it wasn't enough to overturn it, but it also like still didn't look like a catch at the same time. So it was one of those ones that could have gone either way.
But any ending thoughts on this? Kind of just good game
I
one. Get on to the
I tell
next.
you what I'm very excited about is our secondary. I think this might be one of the better secondaries we've had, since like the 2020s have started. Dalen Everett looked very physical. He's big. I liked the way he played on the outside. He had a terrible PI call. I don't even I think that was a bad flag, in my opinion. Tyke Smith was flying around. I know he got hurt a little bit, but he says it was just a little banged up knee. shouldn't be an issue there. He looks like a very good veteran presence for us back there, kind of like taking over what Chris Smith was for us. And then Malachi Starks looked like he was the best player on the field. So
Completely agree. Deep secondary, and we might have some of the best safeties in the nation. I think Javon
yes,
did really well.
yeah, he did.
Very excited about it. But yeah, completely agree. It would have been great to get that, shut them out, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, looking ahead of it, we got Ball State coming in. I believe they're coming off a loss against Kentucky. What are you looking at with Ball State? Or what would you like to see?
So my buddy runs the fifth quarter Kentucky account, and he was, at the game and everything. He said Ball State has a little bit of a decent secondary, so this will be a good test for Carson Beck. Obviously, I say test, and since this is a group of 5 team and everything, they're not going to be as good as later teams down the road, but it's a good opportunity for him to get better. Because that's what we're all looking for right now in Carson. He got really comfortable as the game went on. And I think, this Saturday, it's another good opportunity for him to still keep getting comfortable, getting used to the offense, used to the speed, and being the starting quarterback at Georgia. So I'm excited to see how the passing game looks on Saturday.
Yeah, completely agree. Looking at Ball State here, I believe the point spread early on is these point spreads are getting crazy. 42
42. Yeah, 42.
ESPN, which I thought last week. I know they held out on the point spread. It's like 50 at the very last, and I'm just like 50 is a lot. Yeah, I think I looked at they actually hung around with Kentucky. I think late in the fourth, it was like 30-14, and then they pulled away at
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky. So yeah, I completely agree. I think everybody wants to see Beck just continue to gain confidence. Kind of want to see where Bobo's at in his game plan. Do you think we possibly see, or do we need to see maybe Lad McConkey? Because I heard he's still kind of got that back issue. We are going to get Rosemary Jack Saint back, I believe, from suspension. What would you
I
like?
I think you put him on a snap count. You give him 15 snaps, and he's probably going to be done because you don't want to bring him out first game against South Carolina. In my opinion, after so long of not playing, I think the best option would be to put him on a snap count. Hey, you got 15 plays, you're going to go in. We're going to target you on 5 of those, get your feet wet, and then we're going to get you out. Um, because I mean, Lad is one of our best weapons in the receiving game. This is his 3rd year playing a lot, so I think you put him on a snap count, and after that he'll be just fine.
Completely agree. And then Dejon Edwards, do you think we get to see him this week? And do you think you put him on a snap count, or do you need to sit him again?
I think you could do the same thing. It just depends on the severity of his injury. I honestly couldn't tell you what his injury was or what he's battling. Do you know?
Yeah, it was a sprained NCL, is what I've been hearing. Like
Okay.
last Saturday, but they just wanted to hold him out. I think they put him. I think he went through warm-ups and they just wanted to sit him. So
I think you could give him a couple carries, like 5 carries or something like that. See how he feels.
right.
You know, there's just no point to play or some of these stars because I think Dejon could have a really, really good year. Um,
He'd be your leading back, yeah.
yeah. So obviously I love Kendall. He's one of my favorite players on there, but hopefully that hamstring doesn't bother him throughout the season.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think he just wanted to be he wanted sound like he wanted to be just a leader. He knows this is last year and it's like he just wanted to I want to be there every game when I can, but you gotta work. How about on 42 points spread? You got a prediction? What will be your prediction for
I think this will be like kind of like the UAB game last year. I think we're going to put up, over 50. Um, just because like you remember that second game after, Oregon and stuff like that, we were rolling for a bit, and then we came out throwing the ball a lot in the second game of the season.
right?
Right before the SEC opener in South Carolina. So I'm hoping to see us air it out a little bit and put some points on the board. But obviously, if that doesn't happen, if they want to keep it more vanilla on offense, that's fine too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get one. I think it's hard to score every time. I think it's gonna be like 52-7, 56-7, something. I'm gonna go 52-7. It was good
Yeah.
to see is it Woodbridge, the kicker? He made it. It looks like he's
Yeah.
gonna make a great kick, the 33-yarder, hit all his extra points. That's always important. I think Thornton, the kicker, he had 44-yard average. Thought
Oh
special,
yeah, he's beast.
yeah. I mean, if you really look at it, pretty clean game. Like we had the pick six at the end, but like no turnovers on our end. I think we had 5 penalties, like 60 something yards. So pretty clean game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with that.
I kind
And
of
then
used my take one back to the house this weekend. He almost broke a couple last weekend. So
yeah, how was that Muse? Yeah, he looks like to me, he looks like he's shot out of a cannon, man. He's gonna be good.
oh yeah, he runs so hard. I love it.
Yeah. Um, Oscar Delp, he got that touchdown. Any updates from what you've seen on Lawson Lucky? You think he'll be out for a while? I know we got three tight.
Probably, probably he'll probably be out for a little bit. I don't because I is Pierce Sperlin is out for he's out for the year, right? Or something like that, or redshirting or something like that.
I think he's our third now is Pierce Sperlin because
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I think Lawson Luck. I don't know if we'll see him this weekend.
yeah, I think he had that ankle surgery, tightrope.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might not see him until Auburn or midseason, but he
Yeah, exactly.
spring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, wanted to give a shout out to our great sponsor again for this year, Viva Tequila. Actually drank one of these for Labor Day. So zero carbs, zero sugar. Great pool at the end of the year, getting a pool beverage, and then also at the tailgate. So yeah, for 20% off, you got Hustle 20 for VivaTequilaSeltzer.com. So Hustle 20 for 20% off, and they were another great sponsor again this year. And then looking ahead, I wanted to get your thoughts on a lot of great games, some surprising losses, some big upsets. So I want to get your thoughts on, what were the big surprises and takeaways from week one?
Um, to be honest, I actually wasn't too surprised at LSU. I had a feeling they might be a little overhyped this season, just based on some of their losses last year. And they're bringing everybody back. Everyone is bound to get better. But I mean, they got handled by A&M, who was not a very good team, and they got beat like a drum against Tennessee at home. And I thought people gave them a little too much credit for that Alabama win last year. That game could have gone either way. Alabama did not play very well. And they won on a 2-point conversion. Like that's good coaching. That was a good risk to take, and it worked out. But like I did not think they were the number 5 team in the country. I thought they would be more around that 8 to 10 range. Coming in. But I was surprised at Clemson, as you know. I picked Clemson to be in the playoff, and unfortunately, I am extremely wrong on that one. So I kind of went 1-for-1 or 1-and-1 this weekend on predictions.
Yeah, yeah, completely agree. Florida, of course, starting out Thursday, that was dismal. Sunbelt Billy, as my boy Uncle Lou says, they got some issues, man. Get your thoughts on that real quick. If he goes like 5-7, you think there's a chance maybe hot seat, or would he even last throughout the year, or what do you think? One
They'll
more year?
give him they'll give him this recruiting class and let him see what he can do with it. I don't think he'll get fired before 4 seasons.
Yeah,
So I think he's got 2 more. I think they're going to give him a decent chance, to coach there. They're looking right down the road and seeing what Mike Norvell did. Mike Norvell had 2 terrible seasons, and it's finally getting it together. So I think they're going to give him time. I don't think they'll make the same mistake they made with Dan Mullen. They should not have fired Dan Mullen, if we're being honest. I don't know about with that firing or anything like that. Culture was always a question mark, but I think they'll give Billy Napier a good amount of time before they fire him. I just don't know who they would go get. You
yeah.
know?
I feel like they're still living in the 2008s, 2007s. Got Swamp King coming out, just trying to live off that, but hadn't done anything since Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer. Some of these kids don't even remember that, the young kids
Yeah,
coming in.
exactly. I
Uh,
mean, yeah, I don't know. They're definitely not a good football team
yeah,
this year. I had Florida fans trying to tell me that Graham Mertz looked better than Carson Beck, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
you
yeah,
you scored 11 points.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, looking at the rankings here, do you think Florida State big win? Of course, Colorado, everybody was loving that. Thoughts first off, Coach Prime, great win for the program. I guess just to be a little nitpicky, the Travis Hunter guy playing 100 something snaps is impressive, but you can't do that every week against these teams inside and that in every game. It's gonna, to me, he'll probably end up getting injured. But great story. go against Nebraska this week. I think that'll be a test on defense. I think they got to go on the road. Um, LSU dropped all the way down to 14 in the rankings here. Tennessee moved up to 9. Ohio State struggled against Indiana. They might not have
Mhm.
found a quarterback. It's hard to replace CJ Stroud from last week. I was surprised on that one.
Some thoughts on their quarterback situation. Every quarterback besides Justin Fields, has not had a fantastic debut under Ryan Day.
Right.
So obviously, I don't like Ohio State as much as the next guy, but I think if you give that team some time, because that defense looked pretty good. Now, obviously, Indiana isn't great, but I mean that defense was still flying around, gave up 3 points, barely any pass yards. So I would give them a couple more weeks. Notre Dame is when we'll find out how good Ohio State is.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a very tough game. I think that's at the shoe, I believe. And then
It's actually in South Bend.
it's South Bend. Okay, you got me on that. So yeah, and then Clemson's got to play Notre Dame and Florida State. They could be looking at 9-3, 8-4. Unless they
Yeah,
get
I
it.
know. So Dabo's got to start getting in that transfer portal. And honestly, like Dabo's a good guy. He's trying to stay loyal to the players he recruits and stuff. And honestly, I can respect that. But I mean, if some of these guys, like, you can't be putting all freshman receivers out there, young receivers. You got to go find something like Florida State did in Keon Coleman.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah. I agree. And I think Dabo's showing. If you don't have Trevor Lawrence or DeAndre, I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson, and then you don't have Hopkins around, Justin Ross, all those elite wide receivers he used to have. They're not around anymore, and
mm-mm.
that's showing with his recruiting.
It's just Will Shipley's the only skill player that kind of showed me something
Yeah.
in that game. I mean, and I do feel bad for Cade Klubnik. I think he's a good quarterback, but I mean, I don't know what the issue is there. And he's still calling plays. He's not letting Garrett Riley call plays. That's another issue. So Dabo's got some stuff he's got to clean up.
So the TCU guy's not he didn't have the keys yet. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry.
The guy from TCU, he from the OC. They didn't.
Mm. He's not calling plays, apparently. I saw on Twitter, Clemson, they were all complaining about Dabo still calling plays.
Wow. Okay. Because I heard he's getting paid like well over a million, like 1.7 or something crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. I obviously, but like I just was reading what I'm seeing on Twitter, about Dabo calling plays still.
Got 7 points on the road against Duke. Got to figure it out.
I will
Problem.
say that Duke team,
They
I
do.
think they're pretty solid.
They do. 9-4 last year too, and they looked deep on the defensive line. Like they were
That
coming.
Duke team, I honestly, I'm not ready to call Clemson a bad team by any means. I think Duke is just they got a solid roster.
Yeah. So we'll see. Wouldn't want to beat Clemson this week. I know that.
Oh yeah, no, not a chance.
And then looking at the real quick, get your thoughts on the big game this week. Got Texas going on the road at Alabama. Texas, I think, pushed them to the brink last year. I think it was 20-19, barely beat them
Mhm.
in Austin. But that's going to be a rowdy crowd, 7 p.m. Point spread on that one is Alabama -7, which is interesting. Quentin Ewers, I think they played okay last week. Beat Rice 37-10. Our boy JT Daniels at another place. I think that's his fourth team.
Yep.
So wanted to get your thoughts on this. That'll be ES That'll be game day. So that'll be a crazy all day event for all those Bama Roll Tide fans.
Yep. I got a friend that'll be at this game and he's very excited. He's a big Longhorn fan. So I think this game is going to be very close like it was last year. I do think it's going to be more entertaining than it was last year. I'm probably going to go like 37-34 Texas.
Okay.
Longhorns get it done.
Oh,
Because I think that run defense is pretty good at Texas this year.
yeah.
So Jalen Moore is going to have to beat him in the air, and I don't know if he can do that yet.
Yeah, I do. I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little lower just because I think about they both got two really good defenses, and then just because I don't want Bama to win, I'm gonna go 20, 28, 24. Quentin Ewers late touchdown, break their hearts. Still not sold on Milroy. think he's just a bona fide running back. He looked good last week, but it is Middle Tennessee State. So
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see if they come out and they throw the ball and they look good in the air. I mean, he had some really good throws on Saturday. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. He did look good. I can't deny it. He did look like the part.
any other games you're interested in? That was just kind of the big one everybody's talking about.
That's Ole Miss and Tulane could be kind of interesting.
How's it
I
going?
think it's at Tulane, if I'm not mistaken. So
Green Wave.
Jackson Dart played very well last weekend. I know it was a cupcake game, but I mean, man, he's threw the ball really well. So I'm excited to see how he looks against a ranked team.
That's right. And
I hope we keep winning, make our schedule look better with everybody complaining about it.
that is a good point. Hope South Carolina wins, so at least make it 1-1 for that third game.
Yeah.
And then never know, Auburn could be ranked. That might be the first test on the road. The fifth game, it's going to be
Yeah.
Carson's first road start. That's going to be a loud play. Kind of praying it's not a night game. 3:30 would be ideal, but could get a little loud at night there. Hopefully it's
Yeah,
not.
I know Jordan Hare's my fiance and her family, they're all Auburn fans.
Okay.
So I've been to Jordan Hare last year, and she actually, I got tickets for Iron Bowl for her birthday this year. So that place is pretty cool too. I'm not gonna lie.
Is it house divided that game? Get kind of quiet. Got to sit in the
Yeah.
different room.
Yeah, she kind of the last couple years she's been like, "Oh, you're gonna kill us,"
Okay.
But I will say Saturday she's getting kind of excited about Auburn football this year. So
That's awesome. And then Alex wanted to see how to follow on socials. I'll pull up your fifth quarter Georgia here. And is there any other thing you're affiliated with or like to mention?
that's it right now. I'm trying to expand a little bit in my brand, I guess. Seeing what other accounts I can partner with or help out with or anything. So if anyone has any ideas that they'd like me to be involved in, please let me know.
Yeah, and tell us about you mentioned earlier. I think you might have went a little viral. Anything?
If you scroll down a little bit to the one right below there it is right there.
Oh, there it is.
234, and then college football home quote tweeted it. And he's got a ton of views on that one as well. So yeah, my replies to college football home went a lot of people like that one as well.
That's awesome. All right, real quick, just because that had a joke with you yesterday. All right, so we know Clemson might be out of this. Who'd be your fourth team now?
Florida State.
Okay,
Switching Clemson out for Florida State.
there you go. I like
I
it.
might reply to that tweet and be like, Florida State's jumped in there,
Yeah. They can always switch. Got to make one.
Yep.
Was Georgia? I do like Michigan. I think I did have Florida State on one of the earlier ones, and then I might have said like Oregon maybe and went out. It's just hard to get two teams, as we know, from each
The
conference.
Pac-12, I believe, might have a team in there, or they're just going to beat up on each other all season. It's one or the other.
Yeah,
So
awesome. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming on again. That's another episode of the Dawg House Podcast, and go Dogs, and hope we take care of business and look a lot better with Ball State.
yes, thank you for having me. Go Dogs.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.